All right. I think I've got all the buttons pressed. Are we late? Are we late? Or are we right on time?
It's the podcast, so we're on time.
If I squint, it doesn't say 2008. It says 2020. Just 20s.
Yeah.
All zeros. We're always on time. Thomas, how are you doing?
I'm good. Just been watching weather for days on days. We got some today. I actually got out right at lunch break to go do a little storm spotting, not chasing. So it's been fun. And there's active weather back in our state and other states. So it's been fun. It's been tiring. I don't do the work like someone like Ryan Hall or Max Velocity and those guys at all. I just geek out watching them and my own radar and trying to make my own predictions to see if I'm right or wrong. It's tiring, but it's fun. I'm loving it.
Your studio looks really impressive.
Yeah. So I just added a few new screens here in the office so I could get it going.
I like it.
Being one big green one that's a page out of your book. So still figuring out the studio, the office, and the backgrounds I want. I think I'll change mine up periodically in what I do. Based off some pictures I may or may not capture myself would be the goal that I could put up. Played with one earlier and Scott got to see it. It was awesome. Big giant hail core from the storm I saw today.
That was nice.
But it's right behind me as I sit when I use it as the background. So
you're gonna have to take pictures like with your background in mind. So it's like I want the object up in the corner or over on the other side. That's where it's got to be.
No more centered photography. But I'm excited. How about you? How are you going with the I've been lurking in the background and watching the chat a little bit as I work, but I know you're replaying the Karen Reed trial. How's it going for you? You seem pretty excited.
It is nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I don't know what else to say other than that. It's crazy. And I love it. But other than that, it's nice and quiet. We've got a small group. There's a lot of people who want to watch live. Like
fair.
90% of people, they want to sit, and I don't blame them. I do as well. I want so badly to be in the mix with everything that's going on, but I made a promise to somebody, so I need to keep that. And we're in we're just going to keep going, and there'll be another trial. We'll be back live with trials, and it'll be crowded again, and it's all going to be good. So
small groups are fun from time to time because you get a lot of the people that were here from the start, or even some of the newer people that just like the quieter times that are involved in it. And I can say on the mod side,
they love it. No,
it's amazing
from the mods.
It's awesome.
Like, let's do this every day.
Yeah.
No trolls. No, we can just kick back and enjoy the show. So
certainly,
it's really neat. It's been a lot of fun. I'm loving it. There's a ton to dig into. I love that everyone's interested in it. It's fun. Just the reactions. There's so many this trial has like all the good stuff mixed together. So it's really cool. Cool. You did some other than just weather watching. You did some fun stuff this week with Police Academy, right?
I did. So we get Police Academy update. So this week was a very fun week because we have class every Monday evening. But this week we had a makeup day because one of our sessions got rained out. So they put it on Tuesday night. So we went Monday, which was awesome. It was learning about how they recruit for the local PD and the things that recruits go through.
To the jail outtake, right? And like, hey, want to stick around and work for us? No,
nope. They get nobody. So they went through that, which was awesome. And then a little bit of what the cadets would face and things they go through and qualifications and disqualifiers and that. And then they went through live taser training. And I'm sorry, but there's new policies because of the risk that no one got tased, including myself. They would not. They just can't do it anymore.
I want a refund.
Yeah.
I want a refund.
There's 20 other people in chat that are probably saying the same exact thing.
Yeah. Man, but next time Brian's on, we're gonna have to give him a hard time about that. I thought for sure we had greased the right wheels, and that was just going to happen accidentally, even. But
we don't have to poke the bear. But I will say it was really, really cool because my last experience with a taser has been a few years ago with my other buddy who was in law enforcement. The tasers they have now, the technology is incredible. It was so cool. So they have 2 different sets of cartridges inside. Well, I'll leave it at that. One is for close range and one is for farther away, and it's the angle at which the darts go. So if we're close range, the spread is wider, much quicker. If I am 12 feet away from you, it's a much tighter spread because of
It's
the
like the
distance.
choke on a shotgun. It keeps
Yes.
the now I've heard, I think if I listened correctly when I was hearing about this last week, was the further the prongs are apart when they make a connection, the better the result. It
Booyah.
affects more of the nervous system.
Yes, so you wanna split the belt
Pass the
line.
test.
So
Yes.
people are yeah, so if people are wearing a belt, you hopefully, get one in the thigh and, like, the chest, right? You wanna split their belt line with the dart. Um, Now what's neat, the technology that I think is cool, when they pull it, it's already set on close range combat, that wider spread,
Mhm.
but all they have to do, now I forget the terminology and what it is, but all they have to do is tilt it real quick, like that, a quick 90, and it automatically changes which
It
spread dart
it goes
color they're
from
gonna
stun
use.
to kill mode. It's just
Yeah, it goes from
side
the
note,
close range
the
set
kill
to
shot.
the
I learned that from
or
Daryl Brooks. When he
yeah,
hold the gun sight. So was that a kill shot? Yeah.
but
Wow,
it's
that's cool
really
technology.
cool. Yeah,
And
and
they
the,
have,
go ahead.
I was gonna say they have little chips, like silicone chips that fly out when they shoot it. Like at least the civilian ones. I'm not sure about the police, but the serial number is like dispersed in the area. I think just on the civilian ones probably when they shoot it. And so if you discharge one, everyone knows whose was discharged.
So, yeah, they didn't mention anything like that in their training, and I don't maybe the police ones are a bit different because they have an internal chip that registers anytime it's turned on, activated, triggered, anything like that. But one thing I thought that was really cool is the prior versions, which Jessica Hicks says husband has X2. I think that is possibly the prior one compared to the new one because I remember more digits involved when they said it. Um, but before, uh, um, when you fired the taser and the prongs would come out and get you,
Mhm.
the wires were inside the cartridge, inside of the handheld taser gun. So that the darts are going and they're pulling these wires with them.
Yeah.
Now they preload all the darts or the prongs with all the wires. So they get shot and they go in you. So if it's like the way they explained it is a clown with the towel keeps pulling it. If you
Mhm.
get hit with one of these darts and you try to grab the wire and rip it off, all the
You just
wire is tucked in the dart. So they're just pulling out more and more and more wire. They can't yank it off because it's just coming. And so they said that's a bonus. And also they said old videos of watching the darts would do this. Now they're just on a line the way they're stacked up. So that part was a lot of fun. That was Monday. Um,
I'm not sure about the pacemaker. I would recommend not committing the crime just as a safe a safe bet.
yeah,
Uh, don't do anything that would make you want to be tased or make an officer want to tase you, because
I'm
I
on,
wouldn't want to be the test dummy on that one.
no, I'm on board with that. So
Well,
that
tasers
was
are cool. That's
it
all.
was
Anything else?
cool.
Anything else you did?
Uh, Yeah. Oh, we're still on Monday. So part two was then we did a shoot, don't shoot scenario. And for those of you that don't know what that is, they call you in and say, "Hey, who's ready? Come on in." And you walk into a staged scenario, and you have a firearm, and you prepare to encounter, as if you're a policeman or woman, a situation, and you have to decide in this scenario if you're going to shoot or not shoot the said suspect, depending on what's going on. And now I will say this was staged a little different because we are not actual cadets preparing to be officers. So the stress level was still high, but not as high. We were limited as far as our contact with the acting suspects. So ours, we walked in and they made us do it in partners, and I get it for timing purposes. But we walked into the room and there's two gentlemen that are arguing over a staged fence about one having their dog continually pooping in their yard, but they've had enough and they're furious, and these two gentlemen are yelling and screaming obscenities, and it's really out of control for an argument of that nature. Then the one aggravating gentleman says, "Well, if these cops aren't doing anything about it, I'm doing something." And he pulls out a firearm and points it at his neighbor and then looks at us, the acting cops, and points it at us. So we have a taser and an actual firearm, and we have to decide if we're going to tase or shoot or don't shoot. And it happens like half a second. It's really wild. So it's a little bit nutty coming out of the Rust trial, because I walked into a hallway and I get handed a Glock 19 that it's painted blue and it fires blanks. So it goes pow. And he hands it to me and says, "Here you go. You ready to walk in the door and start your scenario?" And I hold it and I go, "This is too soon from the Rust trial. This is nuts."
This is a real gun that's been painted blue, and you're telling me there's blanks in it. I'm supposed to point it at somebody and pull the trigger?
100%.
Oh, wow.
So, but it was really cool. It was really neat. Some folks didn't do anything. One gentleman, shout out Brian's dad. He's in our class. He did it the best. As soon as the guy went like this to the neighbor, Brian's dad, pow, pow, said, "That's too much. I got to protect and serve." And so the majority of us, myself and my partner included, he pulled it out, pointed at the neighbor, but we waited till he started turning towards us, and then he and I both went bang, bang. But it was, knowing it's staged and not real, knowing that there's policemen in there pretending to be bad guys, it was still nerve-wracking. They were very good at making a very hectic and loud, awkward situation. So it was, I can only imagine the real thing. But so that was the Monday recap. Great Monday for sure.
That is awesome. My experience in the hot house with the shoot and don't shoot, we had realistic weighted airsoft rifles. So they fired, a little plastic pellet. They couldn't shoot live ammunition, so we didn't have the live sound. But it felt very real, and they react very similarly. So that's cool. That's stressful. I've done some similar things in it. Wow. That's awesome. So that was Monday and Tuesday.
No, that was all Monday.
That was all Monday.
Tuesday was makeup day because one day got rained out. And wow.
Whoa, crazy cat queen.
I'll let you read on that one. That's awesome.
Hey guys, I haven't been able to join you all the last couple of weeks due to some family tragedies. Next week school starts, so I'll not be very active. Just wanted to let you know I still love y'all and do think of you guys. Just have to be mindful of my time utilization. Crazy cat queen, thank you so much. I'm so sorry about the family tragedies. I'm so sorry. And school starting as well. That is where your focus needs to be. Get through school, get that out of the way, and get life underway, and it'll be a lot of fun. But thank you for a super generous super chat.
That is awesome. Crazy cat queen, I hope things start to look up for you. So now baller alert. Yeah. So yes, Tuesday's a makeup day because it got rained out, meaning that's an outdoor activity. What that was driving their squad cars through a course that you all know Officer Brian set up for us. It was fantastic. He set it up. He showed us the way of the land and how to do it. And then you could either hop in the car, and I don't remember the year model. They're not obviously brand new, but they're Ford Explorers, all-wheel drive, and obviously they've got heavier suspension and all that good stuff. But
this is a car that's normally used day in, day out on police work. It's a real police car, right?
Yep, 100%. It's Brian's actual squad car. It's what he drives every single day. Awesome. So you could either drive it or you could ride while either he drove or one of our other classmates drove the course. You could take your pick and just go round and round as many times. There's 15 of us in the class, so you could just, as long as you're being cordial and not driving the whole time, taking turns, and you can hop in the back seats and rotate. And it was a ton of fun. I don't have the drone footage, but Brian followed the cars around in the drones. There's some dash cam footage and some other stuff.
I may or may not have submitted a FOIA request for the dash cam footage
to the local PD. Did you?
For it. Right here.
You got it. There you go. Come on in. And heart. Give it some gas too. There you go. See that dip? Yep, I felt it.
Nudist laughter.
These cones and give it some gas as you go through. Dip it. Good job.
Go ahead, punch it.
Going straight.
It's different being the passenger.
So right here,
You got it. There you go.
if you turn in reverse,
Whip it over.
you get a bunch of
There you go. Straighten out and back it all the way in. Keep going, and go. Butter.
But
Hey, I didn't get to go out there and cheer.
There you go.
That looks like so much fun. That looks absolutely amazing.
it was awesome. It was so awesome. It was so much fun. It was so cool. Brian is phenomenal in the car. Not only when he's telling me when to accelerate, when to brake and go, but I rode while other people drove and listening to him coach them. Man, he was great. It was fun. If I wish I could have done it like 10, 15 more times, but there was other people that were extra excited to do it and be in it. So it was fun to watch as well and sit on the sideline.
Let me see. I was looking for something here. If you can stall for me just for a minute, I've got one more thing.
Yeah.
As far as the cones, did you have a count on how many cones like you hit, or is that how they kept score? Or was it just a time thing?
So it's a time thing, and it's 2 seconds added to your score for every cone you hit. So I didn't hit any cones. Crazy Cat Queen are laughing with you or at you. They were nervous laughter. It was 2 ladies in my class that said they wanted to ride with me. I don't know why they chose me, but they said, we want to ride with you. So they did. The girl you could see in frame was scared to death, but she had a good time. So I didn't know this, but a gentleman in the class was timing everyone's run. And at the very end of class, he came up to me and said, he goes, hey, just so you know, you had the fastest time. So for reference, I did it in 53 seconds. Another officer, not Officer Brian, he did it in 44 seconds.
Okay.
Officer Brian went last, and he ripped through it in 38 seconds. He plowed through it. And this course is not very long. I mean, that video you just watched, that you could see, he absolutely nailed. I mean, 38 seconds is quick.
Do you want to see another view? Do you want to see another view of what happened? Okay.
From your request.
Here we go. Hang on. Oops. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button here. Let's go ahead and play this full screen.
Yeah.
This is basically the same vehicle.
That's it.
This is what they're practicing.
That would be awful.
I can't see. Oh, there's a school bus. I knew there was a bus in here somewhere. Anyway, so I'm trying to find where the mouse is. Can't stop sharing.
I can help you. Here, I got
Thank you. All right.
Oh,
Oh man, that's awesome. That's a really cool activity. But
it was cool. It was definitely probably this week. I got 2 combined. It's been my favorites so far. All of it's been fantastic, but these were phenomenal. So next week we'll give an update. We go through animal control policies from the city, but then we also get to know their canine on the PD here, hang out with him. And then the last one is SWAT, all their tactics, and we get to fire the SWAT. Mm-hmm. So
they have the fun toys. Why do you need a grenade launcher? They need a grenade launcher. Why do you need a submachine gun? They need a submachine gun.
Absolutely. So
that's really neat. So
it's been great.
That is awesome. I'm excited for you to finish out this course and get those last experiences. But that's really cool.
I'm too. And I'll finish this segment with us talking about this for anyone that has the opportunity to do something like this where they're at. So Jeff, this is the Citizens Police Academy. So we are not training to become peace officers. We are going through a very, very minute segment of what cadets would do with extra transparency and education of our local PD. I think it's 12-week course is what ours is. They talk about a whole plethora of things, and it's phenomenal. Ours is free of charge. We get shirts. They feed us a few times. Getting to know the officers closely. I never would imagine Brian and I would become friends in the first few weeks, but we just kind of hit it off and have become pals. And you guys have seen him on the show. If you have the opportunity, whether you are pro police, anti, could care less, go do it.
We're just
because
curious.
it's fun. It is fun. There's some really fun stuff. And I come from an upbringing, a family, and a lot of friends of being around law enforcement for so long that I've got a little leg up on some that are walking in blind, but I'm still learning a ton. And it's awesome. They're great people. They're fun to be around. They're passionate about doing it. And if you go for a couple of them, you don't like it, you don't have to go back. There's no commitment for it. So if you can, give it a shot. I highly recommend it. It's fantastic.
Yep. 100% agree. That is awesome. That is awesome. So work's going well. Your computers look great. Your background looks great. You've had a lot of fun. Would you ever take time off? Do you ever just take a break? You have like a vacation planned?
It's supposed to go to San Diego this summer, but that's like a big if, and there's nothing on paper. So no.
You have to, with vacations, you have to like plan them. You have to like write them in the calendar, just like book it. Like when we decided to head back out west, my wife, like it's in August, September, she just bought the tickets. It's like, we're done. We've got the Airbnb booked. It's done. It's happening. And now we know there's nothing else is an option because that's already staked out. Non-refundable tickets. We have to go.
Right.
But one thing I've never done as far as vacation is cruise. I've never been on a cruise.
I've been on 2. Amazing.
Were they pre-pandemic or?
Yes. Well, they were. I was a puppy.
You were a puppy.
Yeah, I was 21 and 22.
I'm like, was it like a furry convention? I wasn't sure where you were going with this, but so sorry.
I was a puppy. My cat dressed up as a cat. My wife dressed as a cat. No, I was a young lad,
just a wee child. Well, the pandemic wreaked havoc on the cruise industry. Basically, a lot of that industry and all the vacationing, the going places, it was terrible. But they're coming back, and I was just reading the news that Royal Caribbean is hiring 10,000 new cruise line employees. That's just the employees to staff these cruises because they're getting popular. They're getting booked up. The ships are out. They're sailing again. It's like cruising is coming back, and it's coming back in a big way, which is awesome because maybe I'll get the chance to book one.
To spend all your travel miles that Dwayne has
I've got
collected.
1,500 travel credits that I need to spend somewhere.
You can do that Grand Canyon.
If I can
cruise.
ever make it through that call, we'll have a cruise book for sure. But on a related note, Norwegian Cruise Line and Bare Necessities are betting that the passengers want to bring less on their next cruise. Like the baggage, too much baggage. And so they have teamed up for a bare bun cruise ship. It's I don't know what you call this. It's a
little nude community cruise ship
Yes.
type action.
It's a birthday suit cruise.
Bare Necessities.
Yes.
You're just bearing. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
I want anyone in chat, if you've been on one, raise your hand.
No, don't. It's a nudist cruise, and apparently this is a thing. But they also there's concerns involved. Clearly, I think a couple of the rules were you've got to wrap up in a towel if you're going to put a butt in the seat. No bare butts in seats. That was one of the rules, and they have some very particular rules about how much jewelry can be worn, which would normally be concealed by regular bathing suits. So limited to your special jewelry to nothing. Yeah. And I think you have to dress up for dinner. I mean, like when you say dress up, I'm not talking formal. I mean, maybe throw on a tank top and a pair of shorts. You've got to have something on for dinner. But yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't know where they're going to cruise, but I will not be there where they are. That's my plan. So,
Yeah. I don't, I don't know. The two I went on were nothing like it. So I mean, to be honest, the two I went on, we went to Jamaica, Cozumel, and the Grand Cayman Islands and back. Those were our 3 stops. And I went on the same cruise both times because I loved it so much. When you're on the top deck during the day, when they are what called at sea days, when you're not at port and you're just cruising, everyone's laying out in lounge chairs and in bathing suits. Like guys have their little trunks on and no shirts, and there a lot of females have little to no clothing already when they're doing it. So I can't imagine none, zero. I get that's a thing for people. I would not. It's too uncomfortable for me. That's all I'll say. I couldn't do it.
I can't. That's a no.
I don't have the stones.
No. I don't even know what happens with excursions. I mean,
all right. So I'm gonna out myself here. I got a story. You have so many good stories. I have little, but this is a story.
okay,
It's a terrible one. I feel a lot of guilt to this day, but keep in mind I was 21. So when you go on a cruise, at least the cruise I went on, you set up your payment. So I had to tie my debit card to my ID, and they give you. I went on Carnival, and this was pre-Carnival issues because we had a great time, and it gives you a little card, no picture, but it says your name and it has a 5-digit number on it. And everything you do on the ship that costs money, you say, yeah, it's 53891. That's bills automatically to me, to my card.
It's 24601.
Yeah. So, so we were hanging out, on the top deck, and you just get, I'm with my best pal, and he was a teammate of mine at the time. It was off season. And so we're just getting buckets of beer, all day long from, Sebastian, if I remember his name, because he was phenomenal. He was the greatest guy. Well, then it's time for dinner. You get cleaned up, suit and tie, and we go to the 5-star dinner. That's part of the gig. And then when dinner's done, you can do a million things that you want to. You can go relax. You can go to a cigar bar, a jazz bar, a karaoke bar, a dueling piano bar. There was a casino on board. There was a dance hall. You could do any of that. So we went to this cigar / whiskey bar on the ship, and we ordered our first few drinks, and he said, "What's your number?" And I said, "Whatever my number was," but I missed a digit. And so I don't know, we're a few rounds in, and it's kind of getting late. And the bartender says, "Mr. Jones, do you guys want another round?" And I looked at my friend and went, and I said, "Sure." And so we got another round, and I'm dumb. And obviously we had been drinking. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Why did he just call me Mr. Jones? So then I ask, and I say, "Hey, how'd you know my name's Mr. Jones?" And he goes, "Well, the card number you gave me, you're Stephen Jones." It pulls up on our computer. So I went, "Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Can we get 2 more whiskeys? And what cigars do you guys have?" I think it was about $950 tab that night that we racked up sitting there in the whiskey cigar bar that we went ahead with that. And so at the end of your week-long cruise, you get an invoice under your door the morning you're pulling back into home port, and it shows everything you've bought that whole week, and then it hits your debit card like the next day.
Cha-ching. Yes.
And so Mr. Jones got dinged with now I'm praying he got to dispute it, and they had cameras and whatever, and it showed he was never there. But yeah, almost $1,000.
Is there a warrant for you in Aruba? I'm asking for a friend.
It was, like I said, when I look back at my life, and if there are any regrets I have, that is one of them, because what a POS I was by doing that.
Oh my goodness.
That's obviously something I would never, ever, ever do again. And I cannot believe I did it. I can't even believe I'm sharing the story, but I rolled with it. We did it. We were cruising and just drinking and dumb young kids. And oh my gosh, I can't. Poor Steve Jones. He got
He's
his
like,
invoice.
I hate cruises. They always bill me too much.
Yeah, and
Or maybe
I
he's
mean,
like, yeah, that looks right. That looks right. He used somebody else's number, so it's just pay it forward, right?
or the luck is the guy doesn't even drink. He gets a $1,000 tab from the whiskey bar and that's shipped, and he's like, "No, I've been sober 20
Buy around
years."
for everybody. Here
Yeah.
we go. Drinks on me tonight, guys.
Yes.
Oh man, that is
So
terrible. Yeah.
it's red pen. Yeah, 100%. When I look at young kids making mistakes, and I don't get mad too quickly because I go, "I was you," but I hope
Oh
you
man.
learn. Could you hear that through the microphone? That thud?
Yeah. What happened? Did something hit your window?
Yeah. So ever since we got new windows, pigeons fly into my office window every day. That was a pigeon.
I'm intrigued. If you open the window, we would have a guest.
Well, it would if it broke through the screen, because our screen, they're case windows that go out that
Oh.
way, and so the screens are on the inside, which I got mad at Mrs. Weatherwatch because when there's awesome photos of storms, I got to take
The
these screens
screens are
off so I can take pictures.
Take the screens off, open the window, and you can have your own little what's it called when you have where do the pigeons live? Like they have a bunch of
Here under overpasses, that's where they.
no, but isn't it they roost? What's there's a term for where pigeons like stay. Is it a pigeon coop? Is it a coop for pigeons? I know chickens have coop. I thought there was like a fancier word. A tornado blind.
I don't know, but oh, I feel so ashamed. I can't believe I shared the story. I want to crawl in a hole. But Braxton.
Braxton says, I've done some wildly questionable things in my past, and a few of them did stick with me. I'm 21 with far too many stories behind me now. Yeah, I've shared some of them. I tell you, we do dumb things when we're younger, and I've shared some that I probably shouldn't have lived through, and some that I felt like I wish I didn't want to, but if you don't learn from them, I mean that's when the mistake gets really bad. And
True.
So much of my life, what I do now is because of what I did then, and
Right.
I was like, you know what? I don't want to be that guy anymore. So that's not me. But
Yeah, I'm with you there. I did it, and I'm ashamed of it, and I hate it, and I regret it. And I
who
wish
said lofts? Who said lofts? Right here. Loft. Isn't that what it is? A pigeon loft?
Got to be, because that's what the underneath of an overpass is like. It's a loft. So that's my thinking.
Okay, that was the word. I think that Karina, thank you. I think that's the word I was thinking of. A loft.
Nailed it.
You could have your own little pigeon. Are they homing pigeons?
don't know.
What makes a pigeon a homing pigeon? I mean, clearly it's gone to your home, so I figured the odds of it are fairly high. Otherwise, it'd be an overpass pigeon.
I think it's a heat-seeking pigeon. That's what it is. I don't know. So I know we've got an old red oak, not old, but we have a red oak in our front yard, and they love to hang out and loft there. When the ducks, if and ever, leave some leftover corn,
They're never going to leave as long as you feed them.
They go clean house. They clean up after the ducks, so it kind of works out. But it's funny how easy they spook. I mean, you could reach up to scratch your nose if I'm in the driveway while all of them and the ducks are eating, and the pigeons choreographed.
Can you do the noise that pigeons make?
Nope.
Like when they fly, I tried to do the pheasant noise this week, and it's like I can't get my lips to flap properly, but it's like that's it. That was it. It's like a horse. The closest thing, two very different animals. Oh, there we go. A horse and a pigeon sort of make the same sound.
I like the screeching cat from 2 weeks ago myself, but we don't have to go back there if you don't want to. But
that's awesome. You talk about some regrets in the past, and on that note, if I can take that and sort of run with it just for a little bit.
Be my guest. I'm not
going to share any more stories here. That was enough. But sometimes we get in a rut, and it takes a little motivation to move us on. or to get us moving, right? Momentum is a hard thing to build up. I mean, whether you're talking about, addiction recovery or just motivation to, in my case, maybe lose some weight. That's something. Momentum's hard to build on that one.
Okay.
Sometimes you need some encouragement. So let me just briefly show you
Adam
this.
regrets watching the podcast.
You're gonna have more regret in just a minute. Let me just briefly show you this this beauty of a contraption, which was filed for a patent in, you guessed it, 2001. This device, if you can't tell, is human powered, self powered, and it's a device designed. The creator calls it an amusement device for kicking oneself in the buttocks. So you turn the crank and it powers the gears and the levers and the pulleys to spin the wheel that then has the boots that kick you in the butt. This is like a modern day Ferris wheel type attraction. I don't know. I haven't seen it at any amusement parks I've been to, but
I wonder if they have one of these on the nude cruise.
Imagine the top deck is just rows of them. But let's see. Weird patent. Joe Armstrong of Tennessee was the one who came up with this. Lets the user turn the crank so the wheel of flexible shoe-shaped paddles would deliver a tush kicking. Good old-fashioned tush kicking. To provide amusement to the user and the viewers of the paddling. So it's not just like one person who can enjoy. Apparently, there's an audience also that can participate.
An audience.
I'm going to send this to Norwegian Cruise and say, hey, I have an idea. I have an idea. Let me just put this out there. Talk to Joe Armstrong or a shoe buffer.
Coming to an airport near you. You get to stay there.
It's quick, really quick. Yeah, it's sort of like a mix between a butter churn and a beat down in the back alley. They put the two together.
I need to invest.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm thinking Walmart will probably sell them soon. I don't know where else. They're not going to be in the murder aisle, but yeah.
Did it have a name? I missed it.
Let's see. He called it. His word was user operated amusement apparatus for kicking the user's buttocks.
He's gonna really
which doesn't quite. I'm not sure. Is that an acronym? What is that?
He needs a marketing team.
UOAAFKTU. No, it's not an acronym. What would we name that? Chat. Could you guys help us out? Let's let's help Mr. Joe Armstrong. Clearly, all he needs is a good marketing campaign, and this thing's going to take off because it's got the potential. What would you call it?
I don't know. Roy's in the house. He has a great point. He says, replace the shoes with a TV roll, and then off we go. And then the most obvious answer to this question in the house was pieces. How do we always end up off the rails? It's the not relevant podcast. That's the whole thing.
It might be my fault. I may have picked that story.
I wasn't going to tell.
Yeah. But I don't know. Do you like, is this something you gift to someone?
No.
Swift kicks. Or is it like a gift card type scenario?
About stuff that is not relevant.
It's like, hey, I got you this. I think you need it. I think this would really help. I imagine you could deliver it with a nice card. Probably that's more like an instruction booklet.
Mother's Day gift.
Yes.
Done.
Yes. Cha-ching. Cha-ching.
This is what Watts is going to love it.
Anyway, yeah, there was a point, I think it was like in Thomas Edison's life, where somebody had said that everything useful that was needful had been invented way back then. And clearly they missed this one.
Yeah, he missed this one.
Yeah, because this wasn't around before 2001. This is right up there.
What if it was what if it actually was already invented, but instead of shoes, it had little swatches, and
Scratch
teachers
all
made
that.
kids
Oh, that
go
was
over there
terrible.
and say,
I
"Go in the
apologize.
corner and spin the wheel," because they were being bad in school decades
I'm
ago.
pretty sure that if it was a punishment device, you'd need to have somebody else spin the wheel. Like one person, the good kid gets to spin. Like if there's a fight in school, little Johnny punched, who? Little Red, whoever. The good person gets to turn the crank, and the bad person has to stand there and take it. Otherwise,
But that's revenge. That's not just punishment. But I guess it's both.
yeah, but it makes the injured party feel a little better.
True. And then you end up with 2 injured children.
And a lawsuit.
We went further off the rails than I thought we were going to go.
Son-in-law wedding gift. You've got a specific one in mind, Mr. Fix It. That's funny.
It's such a big wedding gift.
Funny wedding gift story. If I can go further off the rails.
Yes, please.
My wife's friends, they do this prank. And when we were young, and everyone was getting married in the age group, they'd do this prank, and they'd go around and they'd give gifts of plungers. I mean, everyone needs a plunger, right? You got a new house, you're moving to a new place, you're gonna need a plunger for your toilet, because if you don't have one, it's bad. When you need one, you need one. And so they'd gift a plunger, and then they'd start telling people who were, somewhat gullible, that there's only one company in the United States that actually builds plungers. And they had a huge fire in the warehouse.
He's the guy.
And they were able to put out the fire, but the dowels they use on the plungers got smoke damage, but they still use them because they weren't burnt. And you can smell the smoke on the plunger from the, and so they'd tell people this, and they'd pick up the plunger, and they're all sniffing the plunger, and it looks really funny. Of course, there was no fire. It's just to get people to sniff the plunger, and it's the perfect time to snap a picture and use it for blackmail at some later point.
I just fell for it while you told the story. I'm like, wow, smoke damage. Yeah, it's good. Okay.
How many of you just ran to sniff your plunger to see if it was in the fire? Oh no, this is the type of friends we hang out with as kids.
Good friends.
Does this plunger smell funny to you?
Yeah. Lynn Taylor made a comment. We don't have to highlight it. She's here. She's listening. But I have it on our sheet. Actually, you can go ahead and put it up there if you see it. It's going to be
which one?
One prior to that one.
This is not Burger King. People do not get to have it their way.
It's directed at you, but you're not tagged. Stop. There it is.
You see the Dr. Pepper soda with pickles? I did not.
It's called the Dr. Pepper Pucker. It's becoming a thing. And so they
already have like 23 flavors, and they went for pickles on top of it. Just add a little dill.
No big deal for the big deal. So it's
Dr. Pepper soda with pickles.
So I've been hearing about it from people, and I've seen a few of the posts, and then I was, skimming the interwebs looking for a few stories for the podcast, and then sure enough, that was an actual news story. Well, I've heard about this, so I'll go ahead and click it and see what it was. And it talked about a lady's experience going into a Sonic fast food restaurant, and she ordered it, and her whole experience was awkward because she said when she went to order it for the first time, people telling her about it, she was amazed by the attendant being unfazed. Like, oh, Dr. Pepper with 6 pickle chips. Yep, you got it. I'll be right out. And then delivered it and didn't care because it's becoming a huge thing.
It's like a mixed drink. It's one the bartender makes for you.
Yes, not from the cruise ship.
I was thinking it was like a can and had like Dr. Pepper with dills inside. I'm like,
no, you go to McDonald's or Sonic and you order a large Dr. Pepper and you ask them to throw, it's the sliced pickles that they put on like a burger. They drop a few of those.
And the little umbrella? No umbrella.
I'll have to ask Scott Johnson.
So this is not alcoholic. It's just straight Dr. Pepper and pickle.
And some pickle chips on top. And that people are saying the salty and sweet combo. Yeah, something we could try. I haven't had it. I haven't been looking at chat while telling the story. So this was my first thought because I do like Dr. Pepper, but I love pickles. Lewis Cox.
If I hadn't eaten an entire jar of spicy maple bourbon pickles in the last 24 hours. I would be able to do this. But
You have Dr. Pepper?
no, we have Coke. Actually, Jen came home with a single can of Coke, and it's like Coke Spice. Yes, this is it. If I read the message, which I just put on the screen, that's what I'm talking about. Spiced Coke. Not spiked, spiced Coke is what it is. Spiked is completely different. But it's what was the mix, Mrs. Ari? What was in it? It's
like it was a spicy Coca-Cola?
It's like it says Coca-Cola and then it says spiced across underneath. I'm like, I was
Interesting.
checking it. I'm like, are you sure this isn't like got an alcohol, percentage in there? But too scared to try. Go get it out of the fridge. I'll chug it right here on the air. I think there's 32 grams of caffeine. I'm not sure if that's high or low.
That's low.
Okay, so that's so it's not.
Wait, did you say 12? What'd you say? How many?
32.
Yeah, that's low. Like your average Red Bull. Now, different flavors of Red Bull have different caffeine, but you're looking minimum for those energy drinks are like 180 up to 240 and stuff like that. So 32, that's low.
I got a little. Mrs. Ari also went to Walmart today, and they did a big grand opening for our store. I told you they did the shuffle with all the cash registers and moved them all around again, and they've polished the floors so everyone's shoes squeak when you walk down the aisle because they're like mirror finish on the floors. But they were away like a bag of goodies to everyone who was there, and I guess she got the spiced Coke, and then they also gave her this bag of goodies. In the bag of goodies was a mix. Here comes the Coke on command. Thank you very much.
I bet that at room temperature is way worse than a regular. Interesting.
So it's
never heard of it. This is new to me.
Raspberry spiced Coke and other natural flavors. Well, there's only one thing to do now.
Spiced with cinnamon? Is it spiced with habanero?
Spiced with raspberry, I guess. Raspberry's not a spice to me.
No.
Let's see how it sounds.
Curious.
It sounds like a normal Coke. I can smell a little. It smells different. It smells like Dr. Pepper, honestly.
That sounded like a 2009 cruise ship to me.
It tastes like cherry Coke.
But raspberry instead of cherry, so it's not spiced at all.
It tastes like cherry Coke. It doesn't taste like raspberry to me. It tastes like cherry Coke. There's nothing else. Well, wait. There's a hint. There's a hint of a spice on the end, like not a cinnamon. Just afterwards, like there's a tiny aftertaste of spice, but like on the same level as like a Dr. Pepper might have.
Huh. I've never even heard of it.
Not a sponsor, by the way. Not a sponsor.
No.
It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's not like oh, I want that flavor again. It's not that. It doesn't just reach out and grab you like Mountain Dew.
So would you prefer a regular Coke then, if you're at the store and you had the two in front of you?
I actually don't like Coke.
I don't either.
I don't like Coke and I don't like Pepsi. I can't say that here because it's like Pepsi was invented where I live. But
I can't do either. I can do a cherry Pepsi when the fountain machine is out of Dr. Pepper, but that's the extent of it for me.
Yeah.
In fact, this is today's lunch, Dr. Pepper, and I have a mini fridge in my office right over there that has spicy maple bacon bourbon pickles in it. But the ice melted. This is warm. I can't. If I had an ice machine, I would totally try it. But
try it.
I can't. It's 4 hours old. So
I wonder if you can put like the pepper from the spicy maple bourbon pickles in the drink and get like and
then have a spiced Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Anyway. You've tried so many food and drink items on the show. That's great.
I have this one. Don't tell Mrs. Ari because this is her favorite, but it's the lemon lemon crisp Kit Kat.
That can't be good.
She loved it, but I set it too close to the fan of my switcher, and it like melted. So it's like a solid bar. Sure, it's like this. Yeah, I don't know. It probably isn't good now.
You can no longer break me off a piece of that Kit Kat because it's one.
No, it's just you can gnaw on it for a while and get a bit. But put that back on the shelf for a bit. Don't tell her that it's definitely not my favorite. I thought who ate them all? I thought we had a bunch of them. I was like hiding this.
Oh, okay. Her quick-witted humor back at you in chat is hilarious because she could just say it to you right there, but she just a dig in chat will do plenty more damage. It's phenomenal.
Let me tell you, I love my wife. She is absolutely amazing. And the humor you see in chat, I am blessed to have that every single day. And just in the ups and downs of marriage, it is amazing to have her as my partner. And I couldn't be more grateful for that. She's amazing. Thank you, Mrs. R.A. I'm going to eat it then. If it's not your favorite, I'm going to try it. I thought I was hiding it. I was going to like bribe you with it later, but now I don't have any ammunition.
Oh, that's so funny. I've had the privilege to talk to her many, many times after our shows, and I will definitely agree. She's an amazing human being. She's hilarious. She's super caring because we've all gotten into some deep things that our families have been going through from different times, and she's very caring, compassionate, and just a kind human. And she supports you in doing what you do for us to get to watch you every day and do your show, which is awesome as well, because not everyone has that. So I think that's pretty neat.
Yep, she does like the spice Coke. Not a fan of the pickles, though. She does not. I'm not even sure she's even tried them. I think she just, on principle, won't eat them. But all right. Let's before I blush and we all start crying. Do you want to do a fun story? Do we have any lottery news? Or are we going to break that cycle?
So I skipped it, but there was a bunch, and one right off the top of my head. First time lottery goer wins and gets the thing, wins $50K. Another one went because their son was talking about lottery and to make money, and they went to go get a ticket. I think this was another North Carolina one, maybe. So to prove a point, they went and got a ticket to show them that, look, okay, I'll go buy one right now and watch. I'm just going to lose $5. And they won $65,000.
That'll learn them.
Learn them.
See, son, this is why you don't. I guess I'll split it with you.
Yep. And there was another gal. I want to say Michigan. Again, I was looking at all these stories and go, I do lottery every week. I'll skip this week, but now they're all stuck in my head. Won twice in 2 weeks, $100,000 each victory. Just, I think I didn't include it for this week because all the stories made me sick to my stomach. Because I'm like, first time goer.
They're not even trying. They're not even trying.
First time goer, one trying to prove a point about losing, and then another one just within 2 weeks wins two for $100,000. I mean, so those were all stories. And what's crazy, chap, is every week when I read these crazy lottery stories, they're all new. A lot of them sound similar, but they're not, because I go back to read who it is, where they're from.
I bet they're all written by AI. It's like,
that makes me feel better.
Dear Chat GPT, please write another story with a new name about somebody winning in a unique scenario.
But yeah, see, Gally May said she saw that. It's pretty nuts. It is. It's bonkers. And I don't know. I guess I don't ever feel like there's a mundane lottery story, right? Because it involves the lottery. I mean, they're not going to write a story. Guy that's played lottery for 69 years of his life finally wins 10 grand. Like, they're not, that no one cared. Like, well, yeah, it cost him 10 million bucks to get so it's always, that's what's published.
And they don't write the stories about the people who can't afford to play and play anyway. And
right. Because it's an issue for many. We have a casino. So we live, we're 15 minutes from the Oklahoma border. So on mile marker 1 in Oklahoma, there's 2 casinos right there. And we go occasionally for dinner. They have a decent steakhouse in there. And of course, if we're in there, we might play a little bit just for some fun. But there's definitely different sides to gambling. And when you see it in person, it's very prevalent of what side some are on. And it's sad to watch some of that are they're dumping their entire paycheck into that sucker for the hope and the dream of hitting it big. And that's a cycle that's hard to break. It's like a drug for many. That's tough.
Sad. Do you know what else is a rush?
Mountain
Other
Dew.
than winning the lottery? Well, yeah, the first 6 seconds of drinking the Mountain Dew. No, there was a skydiver story.
Yes.
And you will never
Yeah.
get me to do this. I will not jump out of a plane unless the wings have fallen off, and I better have a parachute at that point, and it be on the ground. One of the two things. I have zero desire. Okay, I don't like jumping off a ladder, even 4 foot. No, I don't.
I don't think you're supposed to jump off a ladder.
I know, but I'm just saying that I don't like falling. I don't like the feeling of falling. I don't like elevators that go too fast. I don't like that feeling at all. I don't like roller coasters. I don't do fast down.
I'm with
in
you.
any situation. I dived. I was a diver as a kid. I did diving for a little while, so I got to do some fun little flips and stuff. I could do a flip in the air, but I always had to go feet first into the water. I don't know why. If I do a flip, I have to go feet first. I could just dive head first. Anyway, I'm not sure why I'm talking about that. Where were we? Skydiving. I don't know where we went. But anyway, I don't like going down fast, and so the idea of that first few seconds of jumping out of a plane and accelerating towards the earth to maximum velocity, not a fan. I've been in those wind tunnels where you simulated skydiving.
Yeah,
and that's pretty cool. That just feels, yeah, I fly. That's pretty cool. I've never gone like really high up and then back down again. I sort of just like hovered right near the door in case I crashed into a wall and had to bail.
Where the guy sits there and holds you like you're being baptized type.
I like to think that I wasn't being held in place, but I'm pretty sure I could not have just fall gracefully. It was a dead fish flopping in the air, and he was like, "See, isn't this cool?" And he's like holding me up and everything, but it was cool. I'm going to count it as a win. But anyway, there was a story about skydivers. I think we had a world record, Guinness World Record. I'm trying to pull it up here now that
we did.
Let's see, open the link. There it is, open again. 106-year-old man becomes world's oldest skydiver. I think I've seen this video where they lose their teeth on the way down. Is that the same one?
Well, here's what's wild about this story. What's wild about the story, those of you that watch the podcast regularly, I don't know, was it 2 months ago? We had a 104-year-old lady that was the oldest skydiver, technically. And then we covered the story, but then Guinness had to confirm it. And by the time our next show, she passed before Guinness could confirm the world record, which was completely sad. And then now here we are, fast forward, a 106-year-old Texas man. What's his name? Alfred. I'll butcher that last name. He goes by Al.
Blaschk. Blaschk is his last name.
I like it.
That's how he pronounces it.
Oh, and it says he jumped out of a plane at age 103 in 2020, but his record was broken by Swedish woman Rutlane Ingard Larson, who was 103 and 259 days old when she. Oh, so then our newest lady would have broken it, but they didn't confirm it.
These two, what do you call them? Octogenarians, are competing for world records back and forth, and unfortunately, the guy's got the upper hand because he's 3 years older than her, right? And in 38 days, he's going to be 107, so he might just jump again and get another world record.
And Pickles, not politics. He was joined by our governor, Greg Abbott, who made his first jump. The governor joined him on that jump to make his first jump with the oldest guy. That's kind of neat. Interesting.
Did like security jump with him?
They had to.
With like a spare chute or something in case something went wrong.
Well, where my mind even goes further is what's odd about that. And correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but our governor, he's a paraplegic. He's in a wheelchair. He can't move his lower extremities. So that's a whole
Greg
different.
Abbott is?
Yeah. So that means obviously if it's his first jump, it's a tandem, right? He's strapped to a trained jumper trainer.
Yeah.
But still, when you go to land, they tell you keep your feet up until you feel us land, and then you kind of run with me. But that they probably had to strap him up a little bit differently, I guess. And that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to dive down that rabbit hole. I popped up the end of the article, and there it was. So you got a record breaker and you got a first time jumper who's paraplegic. That's kind of neat.
All in one jump. There should be a Guinness World Record for number of world records broken in a single flight.
Yeah, world record combination. So
it's getting a little crazy now on the world records. It's like,
it is.
and they've started to eliminate the world records that have dangerous aspects to them, like how long can you hold your breath underwater or things like that.
Right.
They don't like those. But now there's like how many plates can you spin while using a 10 key to add up math? It's like, really? Is that like a thing? Or is there like an organization out there that's like spinning plates and doing calculations at the same time? And it's like, I can think up something that I probably could be the world record holder in, because it's just obscure enough that nobody else has ever done it once. And if I can successfully do it one time, it's like, yay, I win. But
I mean, who can possibly make the most not relevant podcast? And bam, we should have
ding 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 ding, winner. We're good.
Subscribers leave. No one.
Where
watches.
Where do we submit the application?
But small admission, I love watching Dude Perfect on YouTube. Those guys, the ones that start off with the trick shots, and they do a lot of Guinness World Record. I mean, they try so many attempts at different ones. They know the guy who has to come out and watch them.
I think they have their own department at the Guinness World Records. It's like, hey, DP called again. Looks like they got 3 other attempts this week. We'll need somebody down to certify. You want the regular team or the backups?
They're fun to watch. When I before I moved up here full time where my wife and I live, I used to live down in Frisco, Texas, which is a northern suburb of Dallas, and that's where they're headquartered. And I remember going over there. It was about 3 blocks from where my apartment was. I remember driving over there and trying to see, because a lot of their videos, they do crazy things from the roof of their warehouse and go out the back. And so I would circle around like a little creeper, trying to see if they're filming something. As a grown adult, their fan base is like, what, 8 to 12?
You might be on the upper end. There's no harm in that. I mean, it's a good pastime.
But I like their stuff. I love that they do some neat things and they stay family friendly. They stay true to how they started in that regard. And because they've gotten so big, it's open their window of things they get to do and experience and places they are and stadiums they go to and all that stuff. So I like watching them. It's a lot of fun. And I like watching them try to break some records.
Do you know their outro?
Pound it, noggin. See ya. Pound it, noggin, see ya. Is that it?
I think it's something like that. I know pound it and noggin are in there. So oh no, that's
I mean, cool. That was just a guess because I only have watched a couple of videos. But yeah, no.
I'm gonna have to subpoena your YouTube records and see if you're actually up to date, current on all of their videos.
Recovery Addict, that's it. That's like my whole shebang. So it's
Mrs. R.A. says, I don't think memorizing other people's outros should be a thing. I happen to know my wife's outro, but I try to get her to say it like the exact same way every time. I say it's got to be a thing. Because she said it one time in a video, and I'm like, that is what you need to repeat every time, because that message people need to hear. And basically it is, you're doing a good job and you're doing better than you think you are. It's like most people beat themselves up and like, oh, I'm not doing it right. I need to do it better, especially when it comes to parenting and teaching kids. And she had that little message in there. I'm like, you've got to say that every time, because people need to hear that. They need to hear that, it might look like a mess on the inside and it might look like a failure. But in reality, you're winning. You're winning. And winning is messy, and winning has ups and downs, but you just pushing through is good. So hers is that.
I love that.
Doing better than you think you are. So.
You know what? I'm gonna tune in to listen to our outro more often because I'm right in that boat. I mean, we've been up and down with our daughter and school, not school, private school. We're back to homeschooling now, and homeschooling is hard. Well, parenting is very hard, and homeschooling is very hard. And so there's not a day you go by and you question, was I a good parent today? Was I a good teacher today? Was I a good friend today? Was I good whatever today with that child? And it's almost like every day when I look back, one of those categories, I give myself an F at least.
Just one a
Uh,
day. I usually
like,
get 2 or 3.
like, well, I said at least one of them.
Yeah.
So it's like, golly, I got to do better at that. And that it's so hard. But you make a great point. It's so easy to tell yourself how bad you're doing with it, um, versus maybe stepping back and saying, hey, did it actually go okay? Did she actually respond well to that? Even though I don't feel like I got the message across, but did she find a way to get it? Even though I was a poor communicator, so we're okay. I don't have to beat myself up.
Yeah.
So I
You
like
got to
that.
celebrate the little wins. And a lot of times, especially when it comes to parenting or teaching kids, the payoff can be years down the road.
So
And
true.
that's frustrating because you wish that you could just teach your kids something and they'd learn it right then and immediately adopt it into their life, but it doesn't work that way. It'll sit there, it'll bounce around in their head or sit in some dark corner until one day it clicks. I'm like, remember when you taught me this? I'm like, yes, you were listening. I swear, you didn't even look at me the whole day, but you listened, and then it's there. So yeah, that's awesome.
So that's the most accurate thing I've ever heard because I look back and go, I'm so glad my dad or mom taught me this, that, or that, even though it made me so mad and I was so angry at them back then. But fast forward in my late 30s, I'm going, holy cow, were they right? And it totally makes sense. And I'm so glad they did it. And so, Dad, I know you don't always watch. If you're watching, thank you for everything you taught me and everything you did because I appreciate it all and I reflect on it all of the time. So,
I
good
take back
parents,
everything I said when I was 16. I didn't know it all. You are
yeah,
right.
everything under my breath. I didn't really actually mean it, but parents and great parents alike and all that is a true blessing, and it's an amazing thing. So I know I appreciate mine. Fantastic.
Roy says that's followed by the statement, I'm starting to sound like my parents.
Ugh.
Oh, that is great. Oh, anything else you want to cover tonight, Thomas? We've been going for a bit here tonight.
I think we nailed it. Let me give a quick look at the weather as we get into late time hours because I know there's still some severe weather
While
out
you're
there.
pulling that up, let me go back and thank some amazing people. Red Pen gifted one membership to kick things off, followed by another membership and another membership. Thank you, Red Pen. Nova gifted a membership as well. We have Krista Johnson who gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. We have this massive super chat by Crazy Cat Queen. Thank you, and good luck in your school. Sounds awesome. Encourage you to continue and push through that and do really well. Braxton Heaps also comes in with a super chat. Thank you so much. And another one, this podcast just as chaotic as my ADHD brain. Love it. Thank you very much, Braxton. Appreciate that. How's the weather looking?
Weather is fantastic if you love weather. If you hate weather, it's not great for a lot of people, but it's not terrible. It's
the weather is a camera sort of day, right?
yeah. So thankfully, although we have had a couple tornadoes today, it has been much lighter than the days prior in the week. But currently active weather, the central Alabama area, Birmingham stretching down towards Montgomery. There's a lot of watches going on, but there are some severe warned storms, which these do include 60-mile-an-hour winds with some hail. Now, this line of storms actually stretch all across through Louisiana, Mississippi, and obviously down into Texas, all the way into currently south of Austin, where there's a damage threat that is considerable with tennis ball size hail with tornadoes possible, again up to 70-mile-an-hour winds. So if you're in that area or corridor of the United States from Alabama all the way down towards Austin, Texas, it's a line, it's a front that's moving through. All of these storms are drifting down towards the southeast way, so they will continue to be severe and move into overnight hours. Tornado threat is drastically lower, still on the table, but we shouldn't see what we've been seeing the last few days.
Thomas, I've got a question. Why do they always make the hail size sound like something fun? Like ping pong ball, tennis ball, grapefruit. it should be like fist, boulder, bullet. I mean, why do they always make it sound like it's something you want to go outside and like, oh, cool. Let me feel let me try to catch one. They hurt. Even the small ones, they hurt. The big ones are deadly and dangerous.
They do. We had hail today at our house, and I sent you the picture of it, or I put it in my chat. But so they try to go with some of the most commonly known objects. So they assume everyone knows what a baseball or tennis ball looks like, whether they play it or like it or hate it. But I will say today, for the first time, on an actual weather report on my software, I saw lime-sized hail.
Lime.
I've never seen lime.
Not lemon, not tangerine, not clementine, but lime. I have limes. That's still a good size hail.
So I'm guessing they went with that because it's bigger than a golf ball, but smaller than a tennis ball. So they found something in between. That's the first time I've ever seen it. I haven't been doing this for that long, but
do storms just not produce that middle size? They just go from microscopic small to gigantic.
Yeah, they just get in line. They know what the National Weather Service is calling out. So they're like, this morning we're going to put out dime, nickel, or tennis ball or baseball. We're not doing everything in between.
And for the record, I have to give you props because you did not use ping pong ball, tennis ball. When you showed the picture, you said it's raining Mentos. What came with your picture?
That credit goes to 6-volt bus. He said that he threw in the comment right under it, so it looked like it. But,
I thought it was from you. I'm like, that's awesome.
No, he nailed it. It was good. But so anyways, if you're in those areas, be weather aware. Again, tornado threats are very low. A lot of these storms are big hail producers, which can be just as damaging, along with straight line winds that are coming off of some of these. But tomorrow we get a slight break. Southern Georgia, northern Florida has a slight risk. Let's see, tornado threat.
Some of North Carolina.
It kind of.
Well, we're gonna own it. We've just missed out on everything, so we're like, our best chance of seeing anything will probably be Friday. It's still very low. It's nothing like Oklahoma. It's nothing like Ohio. Texas? You guys have had all the action for weeks, and we're claiming Friday as ours.
Fair. We'll bump that up your way a little bit, but no, all is good elsewhere. So, but man, Scott, a fun podcast. I think we left out half of what we thought we might bring up and talk about it because other stuff
save it for next week.
Yeah,
work's done for next week.
Absolutely,
that's cool.
Awesome. What time tomorrow for you?
It's gonna be a full day, so we're doing 8:30 to start. I started on time. I started on time today. I did. I've turned over a new leaf. I'm a new man. This trial has got me invested. I'm loving it. So
21 days to make a habit.
This trial better last 21 days. So I know it's good. I will say that we're probably going to, with the way the courts work, we're probably going to get closer to caught up. A lot of people are not happy with how far back we are. My goal is to not catch up at all. That's what we want to do. So we want to be back at least a day or two behind, which will work out. But we might be closer to being caught up, so that at least if you want to talk about it in social media or with friends, you'll be more up to date than where we are right now. So be prepared to put in some long hours. Probably on Monday, we'll probably do a doubleheader.
On a Monday?
On Monday. So buck up, get here early. It'll be good.
We'll be there. Chat, thank you guys so much again for joining us on another podcast. There's so much going on out there. There's so much on YouTube. So there's current trials and videos and everything going out. And you guys chose to hang out with us and share your stories and your opinions. We love it. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the live chat. That's why we don't pre-record and post, because we love you all being
or practice.
Or practice.
We don't do any of those P things.
Not
practice. No, awesome. You guys have a wonderful night. Be good. Remember who you are. What did your parents say when you left as a kid? Like when you go out with your friends, they're like, remember who you are, don't do anything to disappoint grandpa. Or what was the motivational words that they
don't get arrested because we won't pick you up.
Remember, we don't pay bail. There you go, chat. We're not paying your bail this time. Okay. So
No
be good. We'll see you guys later. Bye.